We're starting with Dark Egg. Should be a Steam game. Is there... Are we good? Is it too loud? It looks like it's too loud. So... Let's see. Turn-based, done with tutorials, fill you up to 3 men, has been an epic free game. Alright, let me just look it up on my phone. And I'll lower the volume even more. So I was watching... Oh, wait a minute. $7 and change for the bundle? That's not bad. When I was young, I heard a story. About an island surrounded by a silver lake. The island was empty save for an old city. Its people were lost and hungry, and when they cried for help, there was no answer. But then, from the heavens came the many eyes of grace who gave an answer. Salvation arrived on winged creatures speaking in tongues that aged men. Let me know if it's still too loud. They taught many secret things, and what mine was, their gifts took away mankind's faults and replaced them with eyes of grace. The island was blessed, everyone was made right. The city was made better, its sun was consumed. The city was made into memory, living words in eternity. Streams faded, and none came back from the island. Most leave the island alone except for those seeking its greatest treasure. An egg from the heavens, unspoilt and perfect, resting in the womb of the old city. A thing that will grant any wish you desire. A thing that I must get. You've awoken to the rocking of a ship. You can't remember how many days it's been. Sorry, 1 second. Just a second. So, I found a few games I wanted to try, and I've only seen the trailer. I didn't look into them that much. Day 1, 4 p.m. Witherlindy. Let's see here. Trauma 0 out of 100. Sanity 10 out of 10. Zooms the map and recenters the map to your position. Right, next. They said it would only take half a day to get to the island. Even the ferryman said so. But the ferryman has not moved from his spot since you got on the boat. He simply stares forward into a white mist with no island in sight. The sound of the waves surrounds you and nothing else. Talk to the ferryman. You speak up to catch the ferryman's attention, but he makes no attempt at speaking back to you. He only continues to stare into the white mist ahead. Is the boat even moving? Off the island. You peer over the boat and see rushing water. It is a relief to know the boat is going somewhere. You, like the ferryman, simply stare out into the mist-covered waters. There's no island in sight. Check your bag. You open your bag just beneath your feet. It is drenched by the mist and splash of the waves around you. The contents are nothing special. Gear you were told would help you on the island. Many assured you there would be a town near the seashore when you arrived. You're not so sure anymore. Let's take inventory. A good explorer always knows what he carries. Okay, we've got a small knife, a climbing rope, 2 recovery potions, and a compass. 30 gold. Alright, range 9, attack +5. My map is missing. Though you remember bringing a map of the island, you can't seem to find it in your bag. Maybe it fell out. Got the map. You find your map on the floor of the ferry and pick it up. While you're no sailor yourself, it isn't completely foreign to you. The map is wet to the touch. Still hopeful, you open it but find its contents unreadable anymore. The ink runs. It appears you'll need to draw a new one as you go. You place the map in your bag near your compass and notice the dial spinning erratically. Pulling it out, you try to hold it steady. The dial only grows more wild. Upon hearing a rustle from the front of the boat, you look up from your bag. The ferryman has turned from the misty waters. He stares at you with dull eyes. Ocean mist drips from his pale chin. Talk. You give a quick hello to the ferryman. His face remains expressionless. Black eyes stare directly at yours. We've passed the normal waters. Indeed, you'll be docking soon. I won't go to shore. I'm sure you know I never go to shore. Of course, the ferryman turns from you and stares back out over the ocean waves. To your relief, you begin to see a land emerge from the white mist. Try to get a closer look. The shoreline is decorated in yellow lights, and as the boat gets closer, a silhouette of a dark, wet town appears before you. The lights seem to dance in the mist and rain. It is the harbor. Best be quiet when you get to shore. Say nothing and prepare to dock. You decide to say nothing to the ferryman in reply and retreat to your seat. As you sit in silence, you realize just how cold and wet you are. The ferryman raises his hand, and as he does so, the boat slows. The boat twists and turns as if 4 men are piloting it. You remember that there was a crew on this boat when you first set off. There was a crew, wasn't there? The boat comes to a halt, and beside the boat you see a worn dock away. Best of luck to whatever it is you're searching for, stranger. You look at the ferryman and are surprised to find he is not at the head of the boat any longer. That is strange. He was there a moment ago. You look around but do not find him anywhere. It is only you, and there is only the dock. Just checking. A small layer of snow covers it. Plus 15 XP. Open the items. Ruined map of the island, broken compass. Cannot be used here. Okay. You step off the boat and your feet press into the snow. Light rain begins to pepper your face as you walk into town. Rain and snow pelt against your body. The harsh wind claws at your face. You realize now that you're far underprepared for what is to come. Oh, I can click and drag. Next. The town is quiet and the street lamps glow a dim yellow in the winds around you. Not a soul is in sight, but as you walk forward, you hear the laughter of a man to your right. Near him is a small shop. Alright, so that's the street, that's the shop. Your footsteps splash in the road. I'm gonna bypass the man. We've got 30 gold. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna be able to buy anything here, but I'm gonna look. You walk up to the small shop and open the door, getting out of the rain quickly. The inside is a good deal warmer than out there. Lining the walls rests all kinds of goods, from small vials to books and art. Centered at the back is a large wooden countertop. Oh, and if an ad comes up, let me know. So I'll pause it and then, like, continue playing when it's over. Alright? I don't really know or keep track of how many ads play and when they do play, so... behind the counter sits a pale, bearded man, and behind him a wall. From his seat, he towers over you just slightly. His eyes are nearly closed, and he appears amused at your presence. Funny, haven't had visitors in a long time, he chuckles, but then again, perhaps you aren't a visitor at all. What are you here for? Ask about equipment. You ask the man if he has any equipment to help you on your journey. He motions toward the back of the shop. As you walk, you find racks of various clothing, some with fur and others with various embellishments. You realize most of it is common wear and unfortunately not very helpful for what you plan to do. Think you can't use any of it? The man asks after a moment. He looks you up and down. You do have a fine piece of leather on you, but armor isn't everything out there. He points to a thick coat near you. The cold can be just as deadly as the creatures, if not more so. I've seen many experts of the sword freeze before they made even a single swing. Ah, it's 40 gold. We're gonna have to come back. Talk to the man. You approach the man apprehensive. His laughs continue to echo through the roads as if amplified by someone. No one else is around, and you realize the man has no smile on his face. You greet him and ask if he knows where anyone else is. The laughter stops. He turns his face towards you, but does not meet your eyes. His gaze lies beyond you. A pale face without life. His eyes reflect nothing. There is no one else, there is just you. The man turns from you and walks away. He shortly begins to laugh again, growing quieter as he vanishes from your view. Your footsteps splash in the road. As you follow a trail of wind and rain through the town, you walk empty streets, lined with yellow lights, and past buildings with no people. The weather worsens as the road opens up a bit, to houses on one side and a chapel on the other. You see what looks to be people. But as you get closer, you notice they make no sound. All of them care not for the rain, letting it fall on their pale skin. Their black eyes stare at nothing. They walk from street to street, building to building without pause and without emotion. None turn to you as you walk by. Alright. Avoid talking to them. You stand in the center of the road, blank faces passing you by. The chapel appears empty. In the back alley, the rain is unable to reach. It is far more quiet. Snow still falls steadily, and near the end of the alleyway rests a woman and her child. Frozen and dead, their faces hold sadness and hope, and before them rests an offering box. You notice that the woman has a coat you could wear. It wouldn't do her any good. Offer. You approach the offering box in front of them. It's a small, worn little thing, but its wood casing is sturdy. Religious symbols, creatures of some kind, adorn the outside, as well as a child's small doodles. You grab what few coins you have and toss them into the box. You hear a rattle inside, and then silence. You look towards the woman and the girl, back to the box, and pick it up. You place it in the mother's palm and close her hand around it. For a brief moment, you wonder if her palm is warm. When you stand up to walk out, your foot pushes against something soft. You look down and notice an abandoned coat. It looks unworn. We got a coat. You stand in the center of the road, blank faces passing by. The chapel appears empty. Alright, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Okay, so we already equipped it. Good. But that was... So I used 15 of my gold for that. Go back to the streets. But I don't need a jacket now, so... If I go back to the shop, it's probably for potions. Knock on a nearby house, continue past the town. Let's go to the chapel. The chapel is quiet. The floors, walls, and ceilings are tiled with glossed black stone. Between the stones rests worn white grout. Pictures of people in the harbor line the walls, and lanterns rest in all four corners of the large room. In its center lies an altar. On it is a dark egg. You feel the egg calling to you. No. No, I'm not. Not doing that. Let's go... I just realized I have energy. Let's go to the house. Come in, you hear. You open the door and walk inside the house. On your left rests a calming fire, and close to it a man in a wheelchair. His face is tired, eyes black. He turns to you and smiles. Oh, a guest. Come, get warm by the fire. You start toward the jovial man. Well, I can't remember the last time we had a guest. How is it out there? The rain doesn't seem to be doing you many favors. He chuckles, looking back into the fire. Well, you can rest here as long as you need. My wife has always been a great hostess, but she's out at the moment. A shame you can't meet her. You take a seat next to the man who suddenly turns to you. Say, did you happen to see my... Oh, God. They were supposed to go for my medicine. Before you can respond, the man starts when he sees you up close. Hey, that coat, it reminds me of my daughter. I don't know why, but it does. They'll return, won't they? Yes, I'm sure of it. They're out there still. They're always out there watching. You'd love them, stranger. Oh, you would. So kind, those two. So very kind. Even to an old monster like me. If you sit a while longer, I'm sure they'll return and you can meet them. The old man gives a crinkling smile. Ask him about the chapel. The man leans back in his chair when you ask him about the chapel. Ah, the old chapel. Such a lovely structure, isn't it? Have you seen the inside? You tell him you have. The old man gives a smile. Yes, beautiful, isn't it? The artwork especially. I know my daughter loves those pictures the most. I still remember when the folk around here used to actually visit the old thing. He stares off in thought. If I'm not mistaken, it was built back when people were first coming to the island. It was for the egg. The dark egg. They really worshipped that thing back then. The man lets out a snort. What am I even saying? They still do. Who would blame them? Not like there's much else around here. Why, it's the only thing that brings people to the island anymore. The man's belly rolls with each heaving laugh. You ask a man about the dark egg in the chapel. Oh, that old monument? It's a convincing replica. Yes. But really, it's nothing like the real thing when you get close to it. It's nothing like it, you know? The man grips the arms of his chair. It lacks the feeling, right? You know, right? He turns to you, eyes wide. Just a fake. The feeling it gives? The promises it makes. The lies it tells. That fake filth is nothing to the egg. Let's leave. Okay, so the egg in the chapel is a fake. And his wife and daughter passed away in the alleyway. That just leaves the overlook. You continue up the path, climbing a small hill. The bitter wind gets worse with each step, every step. As the hill plateaus, you reach the edge of a large cliffside overlooking a massive chasm. Up ahead is the ruined city. Cold gates rest in front of the city, walls surrounding it as far as the eye can see. They hold strong even after their many years. You can see a palpable fog over the city. It seems to cling to it. A trail leads down towards the city gate, growing more snow-filled as it goes. Opposite to it lies a flat trail toward what appears to be a small log cabin. Lanterns light the way. Nearby, a knight in black armor stands, overlooking the ruin below. So that'll take me back to the lower abbey. Walk towards the cabin. You walk toward the cabin, its trail calm and flat. You pass odd lumps, maybe rocks, as you go. The closer you get, the larger you realize the cabin is, and soon you see a sign, faded and chipped, that simply says, "Inn." The lumps grow more numerous. Upon closer inspection, you realize they are frozen bodies wet with rain. They stretch their arms towards the inn. I feel like if I inspect the bodies, I'm gonna lose a point of sanity. Standing outside the inn, bodies lay strewn everywhere. It's quiet, the lights are on inside. You walk inside the inn, the warmth kissing your face, a counter flanked by two sets of stairs lies centered in front of you, with a fire crackling gently in the corner. The room is constricted otherwise, tight wooden walls save for the fireplace. The room is not even a fraction of the size of what you saw outside. The man behind the counter looks up at you. He beckons you to come closer. It only takes a few steps. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna close my window. It's kind of cold here. Okay. I forgot to put Twitch chat on screen. Well, time for a quick fix.